Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for having us over today.
Come on in.
Hi, Alice here. Thank you, Stephanie, for agreeing to have us visit your La La Land garden and give us a private garden tour.
Thank you for being here.
How did this garden get started?
This whole yard used to be a cow field. We knew we needed something out there because it was just too empty. Originally, we started a rose garden, and we didn't do so well with roses. Eventually, I took it over with wildflowers and to draw the butterflies and the bees, and it's become my garden now instead of our garden.
Why don't we go walk out and you can share with us how this all came to be? It's a very interesting name, and that must be a story too.
There is a story behind that.
All right, let's go to the garden.
Out here is my garden, which we call La La Land. And here are the split rails that my husband did by hand. We still have some of the roses that were left, but I have now started planting blanket flowers, zinnias. I have several different bulbs, spider lilies. I don't know if you can see stepping stones. They come from trees that fell from Adelia and Debbie. We took something that was broken and tore by a storm and gave it new life and new purpose as stepping stones. I have my salvias here, and these are swamp sunflowers. They will multiply on their own.
Can you tell us about your swamp sunflowers? When are they going to bloom? What are they going to look like?
They look like the regular sunflowers, but the petals are a little bit smaller. A friend gave me one 2 years ago.
Now, they then bloom in the fall.
Late summer, early fall, to my delight. This is the entrance to what I call La La Land. I made me a sign. The story behind La La Land is my mother made a statement one time, "You are always in that garden." And I remember back when I was a child, she would accuse me of always being off in La La Land in my own world. So I thought, what better name than La La Land, because that's what Mama said I was always in. This feels like a escape from me, where I come to clear my mind and feel better. If I'm grumpy that day, I can't be grumpy in my La La Land. I have decided to make it pollinator friendly. I've done studies and going to garden club meetings and find out the favorites. So that's what I try to plant, as well as color. I love color. I've got marigolds, and I've got more blanket flowers, tropical milkweed. I love to repurpose or give new life. My brick walkway, or brick that came from my great-grandmother's fireplace. I have trouble with deer. I have a good tip for deer. Deer do not like the original Irish Spring soap smell, so I will hang soap near the plants to keep the deer away, because deer will eat even stuff that they don't like.
Do you have a ground cover?
I do. It's mini bark. It tends to stay longer than straw and does not break down quite as quickly.
What is the green that's growing?
A lot of that is just plain old weeds. My saying is, a perfect garden is not weed-free. It's not perfectly shaped. It's the garden that makes you happy. That's the perfect garden for you, and it's for me. I don't like weeds, but weeds are part of gardening. Here's my stepping stones. My husband cut them thick. A tip, if you're going to do stepping stones, cut it real thick, because the thin ones will break quicker and deteriorate. Come on this way, the clearance rack. That is my favorite place to shop for flowers. Pick the one that looks the healthiest and bring it home. Give it a little bit of TLC and it will grow. You save money and have a whole lot of new, beautiful flowers. Here is the soap. I just hang it on a little shepherd's hook. You can find those little shepherd hooks at most any dollar stores. The soap I buy in bulk.
And where do you order that from?
I usually go to Sam's because it's cheaper. What I do is I take my awl and poke a hole through the soap and tie a needle through it. And it just hangs. And it just puts the scent out and the deer stay away. Here's my angel. I got her because I've always loved flowers. My mother has called me her flower child. I've loved flowers and taken pictures of flowers, so I thought that was very symbolic of who I am. Oh, we got a pollinator on my stepping stone. Look there.
And now it's gone to, what is that?
The blanket flower that is just starting to open.
I believe those are Florida native, right?
The blanket flowers, yes, they are. Don't be alarmed by this plant. No, I'm not growing something illegal. People might make jokes about my plant because of what the leaves look like. Her name is Mary Jane. It does a big, huge, deep purple bloom. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
When does that one bloom?
Usually it's later in the summer when it blooms, and it can get real top heavy. So my suggestion for these or any plant like this is to find a height and just trim it and make it bush out more. The first year I had these, I didn't trim them. I didn't know what to do. It got real top heavy and then it broke. The next year I decided to anything about my eye level above that I will cut so that it doesn't get too heavy, because the whole stem will be full of blooms. I was talking about the maroon hibiscus. You see, I just did this today. Right here, I trimmed it off. It was way up here. But you can see right here, the deer apparently are trying to help me trim up my hibiscus. Decorate your garden how you want to. I try to plant plants that have a meaning to me. I've got a white spirea in the back, and it is from one my granny had in her yard. And so it makes me think of my granny, my mama's mama. I've got amaryllises around that were my mother-in-law's. So I think of Miss Mary every time I see that. I have amaryllises from a great aunt who has passed away. And I think of her. I feel like she's come to visit me. So do plants that mean something to you or you just really like. Because the more you do that, the more you will take care of it. Because they mean something to you. Some people don't like plants that will reseed and come up everywhere. I'm okay with it. I can pull up where I don't want it and move it to somewhere else. I don't have to go buy seed or plants. I just let nature reseed and replant for me. Here's another sign. It fits me perfectly. As it says, the garden is my happy place. The garden is where I de-stress, I refocus, and I may even say prayers, and me and the Lord have our talk. And he reminds me he's the one in charge. But the garden is where I can keep my focus and not let the stresses of the world drive me crazy. The garden is my happy place, and it probably could be yours too. Here's some of my reseeders. These bloom from early spring until the first frost. They may die back, but they come back every spring. We do not have to buy any because they come back. These rocks come from my daddy's field. My daddy is a farmer in South Georgia, and he has several acres of land, but one particular field has a gathering of these. When he digs them up, he brings them to me. So I have made a succulent garden out of this rock.
How did you plant the succulent?
I just took a handful of potting soil, stuck it in the hole that was created by nature, and then just stuck a tiny piece of the hen and chicks in there, and they just took over. We will be going to the backyard, and I want to show you my Bottlebrush tree. If I could recommend one tree, it would be this for pollinators. You see the red flowers look like the Bottlebrush that we use to clean out bottles. The butterflies, the bees, the hummingbirds all love this tree. It will bloom over and over again all summer until the first frost. You will constantly have a show of butterflies, bees, and hummingbirds.
Can you tell us what kind of growing conditions it needs?
It likes full sun. This one gets sun all day long. When we first planted it, we kept it water well. Other than that, once established, we didn't have to really worry. It is in a flower bed, so it got plenty of water. It has the small branches that the little wrens can sit in and feel safe. And even the hummingbirds will take a break and sit on the branch. Then down here, in honor of my brother and my daddy, the dump truck is an old Tonka. I turned it into a spearing flower bed or marigolds. That reminds me of my brother. Over here is a printer that looks like an old work boot. That's the type of boots my daddy has always worn to go work. So sure, you plant things that have meaning to you. If you can, you'll enjoy it more.
Can you tell us how you prepared those containers?
I used Miracle Grow potting soil. I filled up the bed of the Tonka truck as much as it would hold, packed it a little bit, and just let it spill. In the beginning, these up here require more water because the dirt isn't as thick here as it is on the ground.
Do either of those have drainage holes?
No, this one doesn't, but it runs down. I purposely propped up the bucket of the Tonka truck so there is a slope. And I just stuck a little piece of wood underneath it to keep it as if it was dumping out marigolds. I come out, I think of two of my favorite men in the world, my daddy and my brother.
Is there a story behind this sign?
Yes, until May of this year, we had a chocolate lab named Lucy, and she was my other love besides gardening, but she was an old gal. She passed away in May. A friend of mine gave me that sign.
Periwinkles add nice pop of color. How long will they bloom?
They bloom all summer. They can even handle a little bit of frost. But if it gets pretty cold like it has the last couple of years, they will die back, but then come back. Just wait, and they'll come up in places you didn't know they were. This is the white spirea. It's also known as Bridal Wreath, because each of the little flowers looks like a bridal bouquet. My granny had this in her front yard, so this reminds me of my granny. You can tell I'm very sentimental.
Is that the mature height and width of this plant?
It can get much bigger. We wait till it blooms, trim it, and then we usually trim it one more time. It blooms in the early spring.
Any additional tips you would like to share with us about being successful in your gardening?
Plant what you love. Don't stress if you lose a plant. It's going to happen. It's the chance to go shopping again for another plant or try something different. That's what I've done. I've had trial and error. I plant something like, yep, that didn't do it. My soil is very sandy, so I recommend if you have sandy soil like we do, add peat moss when you plant your plant. And it gives a little more organic matter in your soil, and they will do better. When you plant, pack your dirt in, get rid of those air pockets, and water, water, water for the first week or two.
Thank you for sharing how all of the different plants are remembrances or special features of loved ones and special events in your life.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the visit with Stephanie and her tour of her La La Land garden. If you know someone who would be interested in seeing this information, please share the video. Any comments that you have, we'd appreciate a friendly comment below. If you want other videos, check these out. And if you've not yet subscribed, we appreciate your subscription. See you soon.